Welcome back to ArchViz Ascent. I'm Farzaneh. Walls are the most fundamental elements in any building, but truly mastering them in Revit means understanding their layers and intricate details. How do you transform a simple line into a detailed, constructible wall? In this 30-minute tutorial, we'll dive deep into creating custom wall layers, applying materials, and even adding precise wall caps. Let's build some powerful walls. Today, I intend to instruct you on the modeling of the constituent layer of the wall. In our previous session, we learned how to draw and edit a wall. Today, we are going to learn about the execution details of a wall, which are essentially the constituent layers. Finally, I will teach you how to display the constituent layer of a wall like this. I select one of the default walls from the Architecture tab in Revit and create a wall by clicking and dragging on the page. I select the wall and click on Edit Type. I click on Edit. In this window, you will observe various layers that constitute this wall. If I click on Preview, it will display the layers of the wall in a drawn format. The core boundary is the part that is located between two green lines and indicates the main structural layer of the wall. This part contains inward-facing layers. Please note that the thickness of the membrane layer should always be 0. And finish is the last layer of the wall. Be aware that the order of layers is very important, so always place the finish layer last. This is also the exterior part of the wall. On the exterior side, we have a plywood layer, a membrane layer with 0 thickness, then a thermal air layer with a thickness of 7 centimeters. And finally, we have a finish layer, which is defined as brick here. I select the wall and click on Create Part. Now we can see the constituent layers of the wall. I select one of the layers, and in the Properties window, I check Show Shape Handles. Now, I can use these points to change the size of the layer. I do this for other layers as well, so that I can introduce the constituent layers. For tagging, the view must be locked from the section. Now from the Imitate tab, I select Material Tag. It automatically recognizes any material that I bring it over, although this must be predefined for each material, which I will teach you. If I click on a layer and then click on Exclude, that layer becomes hidden. If I click on Restore, it returns to its original state. Now I intend to create a wall with different layers. I open Level 1 from Architecture tab. There are different ways to draw a wall, and now I choose an architectural wall. A generic wall is drawn here, which does not have any predefined layers in Revit. This wall is drawn from level 1 to level 2. For this wall, I set top offset to 0 as well. If top constraint is set to unconnected, it allows me to enter any height without considering levels. For example, 8 meters here. This view is locked and cannot be rotated. So I click on Home icon to open a new 3D view. Another point here is that we can determine how to display models from here. For example, in realistic mode, it shows materials, but we do not see any material in this wall because no material has been defined for it. This arrow is another way to change height of walls. Selecting a wall and using these arrows allows us to manually change dimensions of walls. Or even apply our desired changes. Using Edit Profile option, we can double-click on a wall and change its shape. Well, now let's construct a wall ourselves. I select the generic wall and enter edit type. Always duplicate to prevent changes to the default Revit wall. I consider a name for it. You can change the name from rename as well. In the structure section, one click on edit. Whatever is placed in the core boundary is the main structure of the wall, which could be brick cement block or any other block. If I click on this arrow, I can determine the function of a layer. Here I select structure. Here I can define a material for the layer or create a new material. I can select one of these materials, but I prefer to create a new material. I select Create New Material. I right-click on the new material and select Rename. I name it Brick. There are 3 tabs here. In the Appearance tab, which is displayed in realistic mode. In the Image section, I can upload a picture and create a new material. I can also use Revit's ready-made materials from this section. From Masonry, I select the brick that I want and click on this arrow. In the Graphics tab, I can set how it is displayed and shaded in cut modes. Here I choose a color for shading and OK. If I set the display mode to realistic, it shows the material that I created for the wall, and if I set it to shaded mode, it shows the color that I chose for the wall in the Graphics tab. I re-enter Edit Type Settings and on the Graphics tab, change the shady color to a color that does not hurt my eyes. What is cut pattern? When a wall is cut by selecting a pattern, cut section is displayed differently. Look now, no cut pattern is defined, neither in plan nor in section. Well, now I create a cut pattern for it. I select brickwork and OK. Also, I set its color to black. Well, cut pattern is created. Now I can adjust the cutting range. Set it to shaded mode and look at how it shows for pattern and cut section. It does not show any pattern. In Plan View, we need to adjust level of detail display. From this section, we set detail level to fine. Remove selection box tick so that box disappears. Well, again, I enter Edit Type Settings and intend to add layers to wall. Set core boundary thickness to 10 centimeters. And intend to add a layer inside wall. Click on Insert and bring it down with down button. Set function to membrane layer with 0 thickness. Add another layer and bring it down, and set function to finish too. From this section, we can create new material or select an existing one. If we cannot find desired material, we can use search section from here. Select gypsum wall board. Click on this section to create layer here for me. Set function to subtract. Why don't we see layers here? Because we did not define thickness for layers. 1 centimeter for gypsum. For substrate layer, create a material and choose a name for it. Use Revit's own material library. Clicking on arrow brings up material library for me. Open another layer and set function of this layer, also to subtract and create a wooden material for it. This is an underlayment layer for installing thermal wood. finally consider a layer with finish function and create thermal wood material for it. Click on Image, select picture that was downloaded before. Bump is used to create protrusion on surfaces. Usually black and white images are used, but use same picture that we have. Set thickness of mortar to 2 cm and wooden grid to 2 cm, and thermal wood to 4 cm. Wall was created. Now if we want to display layers separately from each other, select wall and click on create part. Here, without cutting, we can see constituent layers of wall. I intend to make dimensions of these woods a bit larger. From Manage tab, click on Material. Click on Image and an open window can change dimensions. From Scale section became too large. Try No 1. Also enter same dimensions for bump. From amount can control amount of protrusion. This top shows us final result. Result was good. I didn't change the height. It's corrected. Now I select a layer and from the Properties window, I check Show Shape Handles. Now I can use these arrows to change the dimensions of the layer. This type of layer is not correct for thermal wood. The correct way to model it is to separately model a wooden grid, but here our intention is to learn while layering. So we only consider it as a single layer. Here nothing but brick is displayed, because I did not define a hatch for other layers. This is the wall that we built. For the wood material in the Graphics tab, I choose a color for shading and a pattern for display in section or plan. In the Identity tab, I also put a description in the description section to be displayed during tagging. This is thermal wood and this is brick. I prefer to change the shaded color for brick. I leave these two layers as they are, so you can see the difference between layers. They'll have descriptions and these ones. For tagging from this bottom bar, click on Save Orientation from Annotate tab. Select Material Tag. For this layer, it shows a question mark because I did not add any description in the description section. Let's go edit these 3 layers. Well, in Identity tab, whatever I want to be displayed and tagged, I write in description section. Do the same for next layers. Care for shading and cut pattern. Also make necessary settings. If scale of hatches was large, we can change our scale. Select pattern and click on edit. Now I can change scale as desired. Look how tags are complete. If from the section, draw a section. Still cannot see layers in cross-section. As the set detail display defined. Hatches are visible. If set display mode to realistic, it shows materials, and is set to shaded mode, shows color that was chosen for a wall. In Graphics tab, select Material Tag and tag each layer. Fonts are very large compared to wall. How to change them? One way is changing scale. Now let's take a brief pause, and upon our return, I will elucidate a few additional points. I intend to delineate a protective layer above this wall. I'll select the wall and then click Edit, type Next. I'll set the preview to section, which reveals the various layers of the wall. Before we delve into creating the cornice, allow me to clarify the graphics section. I'll choose a color to represent cut walls when the detail level is set to coarse, which is the lowest level of detail. I'll select blue and set the pattern to solid. You're free to choose any graphic representation you prefer. In fact, I'll pick a different color to ensure my explanation is clearer. Now I'll set the detail level to coarse. This mode is exceptionally useful for displaying walls without showing their individual layer details. I'll assign a gray color to it. We can also add a door from here. You'll observe various display modes. We use this section for modification. If I click on Modify, I can then click on any layer I wish to alter. And as you can see, it becomes selected. I'll select the exterior layer. With the Slit tool, I can create a cut at any desired height. To create the wall caps, click on Sweep and then Add. Here we need to assign a profile for this wall capsing to be built upon. Therefore, I'll select the English folder from the family files. Then click on Metric Profile. The initial step is to set the units by pressing U and N on the keyboard. After adjusting the units, we can sketch any desired profile. I've drawn a simple rectangle, but you can incorporate full details here. Once finished, click Upload to project. Returning to the sweep settings, I'll begin by selecting the profile. I'll then assign a material to it. For this demonstration, I've opted for Revit's default concrete. I'll initially set a small offset, so you can observe its function. Since I am to place the stone at the top of the wall, I'll select the top option from the next section. We can then set this offset to 0 to ensure it aligns perfectly with the wall. I'll also account for the projection on the wall's exterior. A slight offset will center it precisely. I encourage you to explore the remaining options. To fully master this section, as I've covered the crucial elements, as you can now see, the wall corners has been created and any new wall drawn will automatically include it. Conversely, the reveal option functions precisely opposite to sweep. Whatever sectional profile we define for it will be carved out from the wall. hope you found today's session insightful. Dear friends, in our next session, I plan to demonstrate the layered creation of floors, complete with tagging. Be sure to attend the upcoming session. I genuinely hope you achieve mastery of Revit swiftly, and I assure you I'll exert every effort to facilitate your professional proficiency in this software. Congratulations! You've now mastered creating detailed wall layers, applying materials, separating parts, and adding custom wall caps in Revit. This knowledge is crucial for realistic modeling and showing precise construction details in your projects. This is a vital step in our Revit Zero to Hero journey. In the next tutorial, we'll dive into another essential element, floors. We'll explore various floor types and their detailed settings. If this tutorial was helpful, please give this video a like and subscribe to the ArchViz Ascent channel. Your support helps me create more valuable content for you. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.